It said nature heals you.
You're able to identify, okay, what fundamentally makes me happy and fulfilled as a person. We live in a money-driven world, but we're fundamentally unhappy.
At that point of time, you suddenly hear they're no more. They have committed suicide.
They forget about the bigger aspect of life. It's very easy to be very tunnel visioned on just making money and being unhappy.
What is the best way to connect with yourself, you feel?
That's a great question. I think the best way, in my opinion, is to connect with nature, because in nature, you're able to see how interconnected we all are. Because in reality, we're never alone. So even if you're by yourself camping, so one of the things I love to do is solo camp. So even when you're solo camping, for example, you realize how harmonious everything is. So how the water feeds into nourishing the trees, how the trees nurture all of the plant life and animals, and how those animals are then in a symbiotic relationship with one another, and how we are also like that as well.
It said nature heals you.
Yes, that is correct. I do believe in that. Yes.
So self-exploration trips are very important, you feel?
Yes, I think so. I think through self-exploration, you're able to understand who you are at the core, outside of your friends, outside of your family, outside of society. And I think through that process, you're able to identify, okay, what fundamentally makes me happy and fulfilled as a person, and then what will help me find my purpose, and how can I give back to the world, and what is my best gift to give to the world.
There are many things that don't make us happy, but are important for society to run,
Fair?
right?
Yes.
And many people do the things that makes them happy, and in return, something negative is the feedback from society.
It depends. I think the most important thing is balancing. Obviously, we live in a money-driven world, so the most important thing is figuring out a way to earn money and make sure that our bills are being paid. But I think outside of that is finding something that fundamentally grounds us and gives us happiness and meaning. Because it's very easy to work a job that pays six-figure salaries, but we're fundamentally unhappy. So it's finding something where we can balance and leverage both our interests and is able to make us money to help pay for the bills. I think it's important to find that balance.
Many people, when they are at peak of their profession, or they are earning enough to survive, not even survive, but have a great lifestyle, at that point of time, you suddenly hear they're no more. They have committed suicide. What is the primary reason, you think?
That's a great question. I think it's because they are so stressed out in their life, and they haven't had the time to really connect with themselves, to ask themselves the deeper questions of what fundamentally makes me happy as a person. Because when you reach that level where you're able to provide for all of your basic needs, that is, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is when you start stepping up to self-actualization. And a lot of times, if you haven't had the time or all of those other needs met in terms of belongingness, being in community, feeling love, feeling like an interconnectedness and being part of something bigger, it's very easy to drive yourself insane, because you need those levels to reach your self-actualization period. And when you're able to reach that self-actualization, that's when we fundamentally feel the most enjoyment, because as humans, we get the most pleasure and joy derived by giving to other people. So when you're able to find that purpose and you're able to find, okay, I can give in this way, and this is my gift to share with others, you find joy. And I think a lot of people, when they're so caught up in money and they forget about the bigger aspect of life, it's very easy to be very tunnel visioned on just making money and being unhappy.
You mentioned about hierarchy of needs. Which one was it?
Yes, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Would you brief it for us a little bit?
I don't remember all of the exact levels, but at the very fundamental level of the pyramid are your very basic survival needs. So that includes food, water, shelter, and then as you move up, it's things like safety, belongingness, love, and then at the very, very top is self-actualization. So as you move up in the hierarchy, so the bottom levels have to be met first, and as you move further and further up the hierarchy, then comes that self-actualization, which is the very top part of that pyramid. And in the self-actualization is where you find the most happiness, the most joy, the most growth, and the most purpose. And when you are in that self-actualization part of the pyramid, that's when you really genuinely begin to live your best life.